Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Scripting Your Daily Life. You can recall, I think sometimes back, I did an episode called Writing It Down and Make It Happen. So today we're kind of visiting the same idea of scripting the result that you want. So as I continue with this conversation, I am going to be sharing a few stories from one of my favorite books, Write It Down and Make It Happen. And I just want to intertwine that. So again, I thank you for turning your dial to our show this evening, because you could very well be someplace else, but you have placed a value on your life, and that's why you're back here to join us. And for that, we are grateful. So, I remember when, as a matter of fact, I'm so old school and I still have mine, a daily planner. And there are many of us who use those daily planners to run our lives. Everything that, and let me correct, to run our work life. However, oftentimes we do not see the reason to include our personal life as part of those daily planner. So, and that's why I'm here today. I want to talk to you about that, including your daily life and your work life together. You are one person. So in order to balance our lives and get the result we want, we can no longer separate our business activities from our personal lives. All right? So whether you're using a digital planner, I know there are so many out there now that you can just go in front of your iPod, your smartphone, and you have your calendar right there with you. Regardless of what you are using, I want it to be one. And that one will include your personal life activities and your business activities. I want to take this opportunity to share a story from that book for you. And it's the story of a guy by the name of Ron. Ron's story. Ron and I met at a 3-day novel writing contest. So you might say we ran a marathon together in literary tour de force for 3 intense days over Labor Day weekend. We sat at adjacent tables in Vivac and wrote for 15 to 16 hours a day with hardly a word exchange between us until it was over. Ron is a young man of many talents and perfect courage. It was not surprising to learn later that one of his avenues of creative expression is dance. At the time we first met, he was a student of acting and screenwriting in the middle of rehearsal for a lead in a chorus line while converting a novel he wrote into a screenplay. He is an atomist of compact energy. In speaking to him, you sense the subdue power breathe his skin. If danger arose anywhere in the world, in the middle of your conversation, he might excuse himself politely. And with a way, somebody's got to do it. Smile, jumped into the nearest phone booth and emerged as the man of steel. Or maybe cross his arms over his chest and morph into a Power Ranger. Currently, Ron is in Texas taking a heavy load of 21 graduate credits at Texas Women's University. How does he stay so focused, and how does he manage gracefully to cover so much ground in a day? Ron says he does it through his daily list of intentions. You have heard me mentioned earlier on in the year that I entered 2014 more specifically outlining and stating my intentions. Because as I continue to work and develop myself, I know that unless I stipulate my intentions clearly, I will not be able to accomplish the goals that I've been working on. And I am such an advocate for journaling and for writing things down. But the more I write these things down, is the more I am manifesting them. Sometimes I write the things down and I file the journal away. And it's not until they manifest themselves and I thought to myself, I wrote this down somewhere, and I go turning the pages of journals that I've written over the period that I noticed I wrote it down before. The nonprofit I formed, the Empowering People Foundation, that's one of those results that manifested out of my journaling. Many years ago, I kept on dreaming about my former elementary school, and I was jotting things down in my journal. Little did I know that in 2012, I was going to be standing on the grounds of the school when the Holy Spirit told me that I was the one that was called to provide a hot breakfast for these children. And as scary as it is, with tears running down my face, I said to the principal of the school, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am making the commitment to do it. So once your intentions are known out there, you just need to be bold, believe in yourself, and turn up for duty. You will not get all the instructions at the same time, but so long as you turn up and your intent is known, that you are obedient in carrying out the task, then you are going to be flourishing whatever you are called to do. And let's continue here with talking about the way Ron does putting his intent down. Putting the day's intent in writing. I start out every day writing a catalog of reminders to myself, Ron says, prompts of how I want to approach my life that day. You remember in another episode I mentioned to live in the moment, live in the present right now. This is all we have. So this gentleman, Ron, he wrote what he wants his life to be that day, right now, today. Not tomorrow, not 6 months down the road, right now. That's the intent he makes known. And for those of us who aren't doing that, we look at him and we say, oh, how could he manage to do such and such so well? Well, you just heard the answer. He's only dealing with now, right now, the present. So it simply means that he's not tugging along all the things that we think he is doing. He's attending to what needed to be attended to right now. So he continues and he says, it's a way of connecting to elements which offer significant value to my life. The more I build an awareness of them, the more they will enrich my life. That's why I write them out every day. The first thing on his list is I monitor and observe my thoughts, directing them whenever possible. I want to read that again for you, because I know this is a struggle for a lot of us. I monitor and observe my thoughts, directing them whenever possible. You know, there are 1,000,001 things that's going on in our minds every day. How many of us can honestly say we observe them and we direct them when needs be? A lot of us aren't able to say that because we are too busy. We don't tend to take time to slow down and be still in order to be able to observe our thoughts and to direct them when needs. You heard Ron said, he didn't say he observe his thoughts and direct them. He only directs them when there is a need to do so. And the reason he's able to do that is because he knows the benefit of taking quiet time so he can be in the moment right now. He's not missing anything because he's wandering away about what's going to happen next week and what's going to happen at midnight tonight. He's right here, right now, and he's doing his best to enjoy the moment. That sentiment helps me keep in the present. Life is lived in the present. When I am lost in thought, I have separated myself from the here and now. So, again, this is just affirmation to what I've said to you before. Living right in the present right now, we won't have to worry about anything else. This second morning injunction underlines that wisdom. And the second thing on his list says, I focus to be here and now through breathing and sensory awareness. So, what he's talking about here is what a lot of us do every day. Mindfulness, exercise, and activity of meditation. Some is of prayer. So it's not rocket science to get the result that we want. We just need to be consistent with what it is we are doing. So, if you have not yet begun that practice, I would encourage you that you get into some mindfulness activities for your life. Ron writes his list as quickly as possible, attempting to come up with all of them from memory. After the first two, they are not necessarily written in the same order each day. However, he disciplines himself not to go back and look at the entries from the day before, unless he can't come up with the last few. The things I list are reminders of myself, of tools, principles, and practices that I want to attune myself to in my daily life. Before I did these reminders as commands, for example, monitor and observe your thoughts. When I changed them to present tense, the first person, they were more direct. I talk less and listen more. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Allowing my actions to speak louder than words. I treat every person I meet as the most important person in the world. How many times you are in the company of someone else and you are speaking to them and you're observing them, and yet they are just wandering. You know they're not there because they are standing there physically, but their minds are somewhere else and they keep wandering and wandering. They are not right there in the present with you. I ask that you examine your habits and practices and see whether those habits are some things that you display from time to time, right? Very, very important. Now, I feel the power of the universe following through me now. People love to give me love and money. Every dollar I spend enriches the universe and returns to me multiplied. Writing out his intent of the principles he wants to guide him throughout this day helps him behave that way because he is clear in his intent and can correct his course if necessary. So, again, I think that's enough proof to remind us that once we state our intent, once we let our intents be known, we are going to get the best result. We just have to continuously remind ourselves that now is it. Let us focus on this moment. So we are not going to be having panic attacks and all of that going on in our life. We are not going to be saying, oh, what's going to happen if this doesn't happen? Because we are just dealing with the now, the present, right here. We are embracing it. We are giving it all the energy that we have right now. And because of us doing that on a regular basis, we find out that we are accomplishing greater and bigger things. Things that we never thought we would have accomplished. We are doing that. And that is just happening because we are living one moment at a time. Remember, I didn't say one day at a time, because I know we have been programmed over the years to say that, oh, one day at a time. Now, to get the best result, you need to step back and live one moment at a time. And you're going to find out that you are going to have such rewarding experiences and result in your life that you could never have imagined would happen. I want to share one more couple of things he says here. I minimize my food portion intake. Now I eat 1/3 to half less food per meal. And I know that there are lots of us who struggles with that. I coordinate a French cultural exchange program, and one of the things that the students always say, oh, everything in America is so big, you know? And I know our portions, I'm no different. I struggle with that too, larger portion than we need. And we are all a work in progress. So one of the things he says he practices in doing too is eat 1/3 to a half less than what he normally does. So what suits your lifestyle? It's just for you to examine and just embrace those things that that works for you. I develop a magnificent obsession knowing that a drop here and a drop there soon become a flood. In Jamaica, they have a saying that says it's not the same day that the leaf drop in the pond, it rots, but eventually it is going to be rotted. So what he's doing here, a drop here and a drop there. He's doing one habit here and one habit there, and he knows before long he's going to be getting the desired result. And rightfully so, because he has made his intentions known, and he is crafting the lifestyle for himself. So you get up on 365 days a year, you cut that down to each moment of the day and you enjoy it. You think by the end of the year you're not going to be having a reward in life? I bet you will be. You will be. But you have to do the work. Everything is possible to you and I so long as we do the work. So, I want you to begin to script the life you want for yourself. Get busy. You know what's in your head. You know what's in your heart. I want you to use what's in your heart to override what's in your head. And I want for you to focus on what's in your heart, because that is coming from your authentic place. And you are going to be so happy with the result. Remember, they say Rome was not made in a day. Don't push yourself. Don't overdo. Just relax and go with the flow. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Take your time and write the things down. Remember, these intents are not for somebody else. They are for you. They are uniquely and authentically yours. So, write them down and enjoy. And why don't you adopt a couple of rods or principles by not looking back over the list you wrote any time before? I want you to go by memory, knowing that the universe will provide for you in this moment that which you need to put on the list, and you put just what the universe gives you at this moment and time. I tell you, you are going to see a new you evolve. It will be a you full of excitement. It will be a new you who becomes loving and lovable. So don't hoard the excitement. Don't hoard the love. Keep giving it. Unconditional love. Find some way to be happy in the process. And you know, happiness is contagious. Because once you begin to script your life, you are going to be so happy and everybody wants to be around you. You're going to be having new friends, new associates, because what happened? Everybody's going to want some of what you got. And they're going to see that you are such a real person. They want to be around you. And then you're going to be sharing with them. It's nothing extra that I'm doing. All I am doing every day, I wake up, I just script the result that I need. So who knows? You can probably start a mastermind group where you show people how to do what you are doing. Just give them a few steps so they can go out there and start to script their life. You're going to find out that no matter what you have gone through in the past, you are going to be able to rise out of those dungeons. And again, you're going to be able to be looking at the brilliant smiles on your face. Your blood pressure is not going to be elevated because you are living in the moment. You are treating your body right. You are doing the exercises and the things that you know to do that is enhancing your life. It is never too late for a new beginning. So regardless of where you are today, you can start right now to script the life that you want. You don't have to go back to school to do it. You don't have to have a degree to do it. All you want is the determination to step out from behind your fear and get a pen and a paper and start to write. Start to write. You don't have to major in English or anything. Write from your heart. Write what is coming out of your heart. You know, the other day, I gave an activity to one of my clients, and she called me and she says, you know, I am so surprised when I look at what is coming out at the end of my pen. I could not believe it. And all of us have stuff in our lives that will come out on the other end of our pen and our paper. That's going to really rock our world. However, during that tornado, when it rocks our world, we are going to evolve feeling much better. So, you know, as always, I appreciate each and every one that tune into the show. I hope that you have gotten something out of this episode. I want to encourage you to connect with me. My website is DaphneClarke-HudsonEmpowers.com. You can sign up there and be part of my regular blogs and everything that I have going on. I also have a radio show. You can go to blogtalkradio.com and look for my name. We are on regularly every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesdays is 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And on Wednesdays, we are on Sundays, we are on at 7 p.m. at nights. And on Facebook.com, I am at Dynamic Daphne. Twitter.com, Dynamic Daphne. LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Instagram, I am Daphne Clarke-Hudson. As always, I love each and every one of you. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing that you can do about that. Keep scripting your life and let me hear the results.